This is not a kid-friendly show.
Yo, what's really good, my dudes? Welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. For this video, we're going to be going over the rewards you can expect from the new upcoming Shadow Worlds minigame. So first up, I talked about new abilities you'll be able to receive, and those will be a ranged and melee one. First up, let's talk about the ranged one. The ranged one is a threshold that when you purchase it will upgrade the Dazing Shot ability. What it does to Dazing Shot is add a new ability to add a puncture stack. This will work in a slightly similar vein to Storm Shards and Shatter, where you'll be doing Dazing Shot as you normally would to apply these puncture stacks. Puncture stacks last for 9 seconds and can be applied for a total of 10 stacks, just like Storm Shards. The threshold ability, Salt the Wound, will be your ability akin to Shatter. However, it works very differently. Salt in the Wound will work whether or not you have any puncture stacks at all, and it will do a base damage of 188% weapon damage with a 15-second cooldown. However, if you have any puncture stacks, it will add an additional 18% damage for every puncture stack you have on your opponent. Not only that, it resets the duration of puncture. Like I said, puncture only lasts for 9 seconds. This will reset that timer. So if you have a whole team timing your Salt in the Wounds properly, you can have your puncture stacks applied to an opponent indefinitely. That's assuming that's how it works on paper. We don't know how it's going to actually work out in practice yet, but it seems like that's the case. You'll be applying, or your team will be applying, these puncture stacks with their Dazing Shots, and Salt in the Wound will be buffed by those stacks. Assuming your team can maintain the 10 stacks, it will be a very powerful threshold with that 15-second cooldown, which is shorter than any of the current range thresholds. It's also very important to note that Salt in the Wound can be used by both dual wield and range two-handed. However, puncture stacks can only be applied by those using a two-hander, adding another level of coordination with your team as well as strategy. So I think this is going to be a very viable ability to add to your rotation, assuming it plays out the way it does on paper. We'll still have to wait and see. So yeah, to reiterate, once you buy the Salt in the Wound, it'll permanently upgrade your Dazing Shot ability. You don't need to purchase them separately, it's just buying the Salt in the Wound ability. Next up, we're going to talk about the new dual wield melee ability. It's called Bladed Dive. So I'll read off the description for you. Leap towards your specified location, spinning your blades around as you land, dealing 125% weapon damage to all enemies adjacent to or on top of your specified tile. If any hit enemies die within 6 seconds of you hitting them, the cooldown of Bladed Dive gets reset, and it has a 20-second cooldown. That seems extremely powerful. I don't know if you're going to have to set a certain tile once you proc that ability, or if it's just going to pop off on the tile that you're attacking whatever you're attacking. That's yet to be seen, but you'd be able to do this ability over and over again, assuming you knock out whatever you're fighting. So things like Slayer, where you're piling up people with an aggression potion, this could be an extremely powerful AoE damage, and it is possible that it could be competitive to two-handed halberds. Again, that's yet to be seen. I think Hurricane and Quake and Cleave, etc. are going to still be very viable, but this is going to help bring dual wield much more in line with them, especially with that reset. If you get a kill within 6 seconds, is going to be proving to be very useful for dual wielders. So the next reward I want to talk about is the 9-stage pet. You can see here with the rewards interface, different stages of the pet. Also important to note that the new currency is called Anima, which will go into your currency pouch, and that's how you're going to be buying all of the rewards talked about in this video. But here is the different pets you can get. Looking at this interface here, and based on the names, you can kind of get an idea of what these pets are based on. So it looks like it starts off as a wisp and ends up all the way as some sort of anima T-Rex. Well, it's really cool to note. I'll also show a couple of images on screen of the various different stages of this pet that you can see as it grows up. Really interesting stuff, to be honest. It looks kind of crazy, like a weird pig-like thing, and it's a very interesting way to go about doing it. The next thing I want to talk about is Slayer masks. Yes, the Slayer masks you get from Treasure Hunter will be buyable from this new minigame. As you can see, all current available Slayer masks will be available for purchase on the reward shop. They're no different than the ones you would earn from Treasure Hunter. We just now have a new in-game means of achieving them. They can be rather pricey, but if you're really looking for a specific monster that you want to get, here is your chance to get it without any RNG. Finally, here is the new unique rewards. You can see the two abilities I talked about will sell for 63 mil anima. I don't know the rate at which you're going to be earning anima. That's yet to be seen, but there you go. Also, you see an Abyssal Knight armor override. I'll show on screen right now. That's what it looks like. That's 27 mil anima. Not too bad if you want to purchase that. It looks pretty cool. And we got some XP lamps and Abyssal Slayer contract, which we'll talk about. Next thing I want to talk about, however, is the new sigils that they talked about. This is going to be going in a new equipment slot. They sell for 45 mil anima each. Currently, this is the only thing we're going to be able to use the sigil slot with, but I assume as time goes on and new game updates come out, we'll have more uses for this slot. Anyways, to go over each sigil individually, the Sigil of Slayer will work as when you're using it, it will increase the Slayer XP by 10% for 30 seconds. Not entirely sure how these are going to work out, if you can just reactivate them or they have a cooldown or something. I'm assuming it has some sort of cooldown mechanic, but yeah, that's how that's going to work. Next up, we have the Ferocious Sigil. Using this will cause mobs in Curadel's dungeon to instantly respawn for 30 seconds. That'll really help out and come in combination with things like the bladed dive ability that we get with the dual wield that comes out with this update, causing for an extremely increased kill per hour if you're utilizing these effectively. And finally, the Aggression Sigil works just as we expected with aggression potions. Using this causes everything around you immediately to begin attacking you. Probably the least used of all of them if you're perfectly fine with using aggression potions. So I think Ferocious and Sigil of Slaying is going to be the more used one. Again, we're going to have to wait and see, but that's my initial thoughts. Now to go back to the Abyssal Slayer contract that we talked about for 500k anima. Getting this will provide you a contract to kill certain creatures within Shattered Worlds. I assume you complete these contracts, you'll get XP, possibly in Slayer and more. We have yet to understand that fully, but yeah, if you want to get these Abyssal contracts, 500k anima, and you'll be assigned certain monsters within Shattered Worlds to kill. Anyways, yeah guys, that wraps it up for what you need to know about what you can expect for the rewards for Shattered Worlds. I'm even more hyped than my previous video of what we've seen so far, and I can't wait to grind out. Not only does it look like a really awesome, fun mini game to play on its own regardless of rewards, these rewards are just the icing on the cake. They look really awesome. I can't wait to get my hands on that Salt in the Wound ability. Looks like it's gonna make range extremely strong if your team can maintain those puncture stacks. Anyways, yeah guys, that's it for the video. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then you're already in the right place. Hit that subscribe button. I promise to keep you up to date on all things RuneScape. If you want to contact me in game, pop into my friends chat, or you can always pop into my Discord link below. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Peace.